Most people get into anime for the badass hype moments, for the emotional climaxes that most shonen anime can make you feel. But then there are the people who are just a little bit mentally masochistic, who enjoy having the bejesus scared out of them. This video is for the people that are exactly this kind of crazy. Hello and welcome back to Anime Undisclosed. And today we'll be revealing the top 10 horror anime that will scare the shit out of you. Before we continue, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, as we release new anime-related content regularly. In that way, you'll never miss another video. With that being said, turn the lights on and let's get to it. Number 10. Mieruko-Chan.
やっぱミコ超見える
Being a high school girl is hard enough on its own, but it's even harder when you see the deformed ghosts of people all the time. She decided that she'll completely ignore the ghosts haunting her, but that doesn't seem to turn out well, as they wreak havoc all around her. Being that this is a comedy horror anime, it does tend to break the tension a lot with its comedy aspect. But from time to time, the scarier moments can hit even harder because you're letting your guard down completely, and something scary can hit you out of nowhere. All in all, it's a newer series and does a great job in combining the two seemingly opposite genres and making it a gem out of them. Go and check it out. Number 9. Monster. We've referenced Monster in a couple of other videos on the channel. This is because it's one of the old school classics that just keep being good even after the years of being released. This anime, while not your typical horror show with creepy demons or ghosts, is more than terrifying with its psychological treatment of its characters. The so-called monster in the series is a human. When Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a surgeon, saved a man who had been shot in the head, it turned out that this man was a serial life ender who did a number on the whole hospital where Kenzo was working. Right before this, our favorite surgeon got fired, so he got accused of this, and this leads to the beginning of the anime where Tenma decides to capture this monster himself. Number 8. High School of the Dead. Now, what would be a top 10 horror anime list without mentioning a zombie apocalypse? High School of the Dead is basically that. A zombie apocalypse with some insanely interesting and creative characters trying their best to survive in it. Now, this anime will do one of three things. It will either scare you to the bathroom, it will motivate you to be as creative and adaptive as your main cast, or it will get your hormones running crazy with scenes like whatever the anime manages to do for you. It's a great watch. The problem with this anime is that it ended prematurely, and it will probably never be continued. But even so, it's an anime beloved by many, and has many intense moments, all the time, to keep you engaged and on the edge of your seat. And then, the resting time is always just beautiful. Moving on. Number 7. Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul. Kaneki really is one unfortunate guy, isn't he? After his crush turned out to be a flesh-eating ghoul, he himself got turned into a hybrid between human and ghoul, and his life turned upside down. Now, this isn't the main focus of the anime. It can really get disturbing at times, with centipedes being put in his ears, and the ghoulish nature also being quite the scary bit. Even though we root for Kaneki, we can't help but feel sad for him and scared of him at times. But even more so, the anime manages to get you more afraid of people, even as it's full of monsters, and that's just quite the feat itself. Definitely one of the darker anime out there, especially the first season. So, you've been warned. Number 6. Higurashi.
私が家を守らなくちゃ。圭一君を殺して私の救よ。あ、そうか。これが今年のお社様のたたりなんだよね。
さっきから何を？
Although it would have been way more symbolic to have this anime at number 4, there are scarier ones coming. This anime is a perfect example of the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover," for two reasons. First, the anime itself looks way more innocent than it actually is. And second, The characters are an embodiment of that too. The main character goes to a village and meets 4 girls who appear to all like him somehow. Everything looks nice and well, but this soon changes as he learns of certain events that happen every 4 years in that village. Every 4 years, on the day of the village's festival, a person either passes away or disappears. As you may have guessed, the main character is trying to solve the mystery of who the culprit is, while they're actually closer to him than he knows. If you're on the weaker side, you might want to skip this one. It can be extremely harsh at times. You've been warned. Number 5. The Promised Neverland. What's worse than having a bunch of people in extreme danger of the supernatural? Having a bunch of little kids in that danger. The Promised Neverland is a book that shouldn't be judged by its cover, as it looks extremely innocent and wholesome at first. You have an orphanage where kids are being looked after by their mom, who treats them all incredibly well. There's only one rule: don't leave. Now, as you can guess, there's already something fishy going on, and some of the kids accidentally stumble upon what this orphanage is really all about. They try to do everything they can to escape their predetermined fate. The stakes always feel incredibly high in this anime, and having kids be the protagonists just enhances that element even more. This anime is one of the so-called instant classics that blew up from the moment they started airing, and that's for a reason. Good luck. Number 4. Parasite.
I have failed. This is unfortunate.
What? What's unfortunate?
Be quiet.
The horror game often focuses on different phobias that people have, and to be extremely blunt, if you have the phobia of body parts, don't watch this anime. There's a crazy amount of body horror in this anime, and even though it's done brilliantly, it can be too much for someone who doesn't take well to it. That being said, the anime has a great plot, insane animation, and it is actually really well done. The story starts when some alien spores spread around the Earth, and different parasites get to infect some humans. These humans gain the ability to transform their bodies at will, but in return for that power, they also start craving human flesh. One of the parasites fails to take control of his host, and they form more of an alliance. The two have to survive in this world full of other parasitic humans. While one of the rougher anime out there, it's definitely worth the watch. Number 3. Hellsing Ultimate. Just like with zombies, vampires are also one of the creatures that you just can't go without if you're making a top 10 horror list. Now let's get this out of the way. Alucard is one of the most badass characters in existence. Knowing that, you're probably thinking, how can we be scared at all then? I mean, no one's scared of watching One Punch Man. The problem is that most of the horror in this anime comes from him, being the strongest, most brutal vampire, hired by a vampire hunting organization. Alucard has to be pretty sadistic to accept, and he does, just so he can feel the thrill of a fight once more. The story itself is pretty captivating, but the sheer badassery and sadistic nature of Alucard are where this anime shines the most. By the way, want to see something cool? Try saying his name backward. Oh, but we're not done with vampires just yet. Number 2. Shiki. Many people will say that Hellsing is a better anime than Shiki, and their spots here would be reversed. While we don't deny this, Shiki tends to be quite scarier. This is probably the creepiest depiction of vampires to this day. And not only that, but can make you turn away from the screen many times because of the humans too. This anime plays on your sense of justice, as the cruelty of the humans are willing to show in order to assure their survival can make you question your ethical belief system, while the vampires aren't really one to take pity on as well. You just can't help but wonder who's in the wrong here. This anime grows in intensity little by little, until the end. Many people have reported not being able to handle it, but since that's what this list is all about, it takes the number 2 spot with flying colors. Now, before we reveal our top pick, if you enjoyed this video so far, don't be afraid to click the like button so it can reach more people that wish to test their courage. Also, if you still haven't, subscribe to the channel and we'll have plenty more videos coming your way. Now let's see what the scariest anime out there really is. Number 1. Another. Although we had much scary anime up to this point, Another takes the number 1 spot. The show has a schoolgirl named Misaki who passes away, but when our MC Koichi transfers to the class, everyone seems to act as if this girl was still alive. If you ask me, that just screams for an angry ghost to come back. Anyways, Koichi meets a girl named Mei, and the two end up working together, while the school goes crazy and people start disappearing and losing their lives one after the other. Another is an anime that focuses more on the mystery aspect, but simultaneously manages to be insanely scary and creative in a way that it manages to write off characters. Just when you're focused on something else and trying to figure out the mystery, you get scared as your guard is down. Definitely one of the top horror anime out there, so be sure to check it out. Oh, and by the way, Mei is Misaki. And there you have it, Anime Disclosers, the top 10 horror anime that will scare the shit out of you. Make sure to watch these anime during the day, and tell us down in the comments below for any other suggestions for some super scary anime. With that said, we'll be taking our leave, so as always, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.